Welcome back to Godot Dev Checkpoint. We've written code, now it's time to move. So today we're going to build the core of our game platformer type thing by implementing basic horizontal movement. Now we'll introduce the essential CharacterBody2D node, and even better, we'll start with Godot's built-in movement script template, focusing only on the lines that handle horizontal motion and physics. So let's jump into the physics loop. Now to start this off, we're going to create a new scene. So in our Godot editor, scene, new scene, and then we can choose 2D scene or we can just use other node. The other node, we want CharacterBody2D, just here. And we're going to create that. Now if you create a node 2D scene by accident, it's fine. You can create a new scene, delete the other one, or you can right click on the node and change its type to any other kind of node you want. Now that we have a CharacterBody2D, we're going to add some children. So the character body selected with the plus sign here. We're going to start off with the Sprite 2D. Now we have Sprite 2D. We're going to also give it a texture, which here, texture, we're going to load again our standard Godot icon. Now we have him here in our 2D tab. We can see him. We also need a collision shape. We don't have anything. We don't have something to collide with. And if you ever forget these node configuration warnings, they will tell you what you need. So the node has no shape, so it can't collide. So consider adding a collision shape, 2D or polygon 2D, whichever one you prefer. But for this case, we're going to select the CharacterBody2D, add the plus sign, and use a collision shape 2D. Now we have another node configuration warning, and it tells us that a shape must be provided. So over in the inspector here, our shape is empty. So all we have to do is click on it in the empty, and what we're going to use is a rectangle shape. Now we can take our collision shape. When it's selected, you can see these red dots. That's the anchors we can use to highlight our entire icon. Now our entire icon is collidable. And we need a script. So with our CharacterBody2D selected, let's just add a script. Clicking on the attach new script. And we're going to name this script player. But we need to put it in the right spot. Currently it's going to the root. We want to put it in our scripts folder. So if you're not in your scripts folder, you click this arrow here and get to your root, which is res:// and click on scripts and make sure we're saving as player GD in our scripts folder and open. So our CharacterBody2D inherits from is going to give us the full boilerplate code for physics. It's a whole physics template. So which is great. Then we can start explaining that for 2D basic movement. You can make it empty if you want to write your own, but we're going to stick with the default built-in. Click Create. And now we have a simple physics process movement script. Now we want to save this scene. As it's unsaved, you can see by the asterisk there. Scene. Save scene. And now we're in the scenes folder. That's good. We're going to save this scene as player. Click Save. Now I have a scene player and a player script. Now if we look at the top of the template, we have these things called consts. Now we're going to get real in the weeds with those, but basically const is just something that can't be changed at runtime. It's just a variable that we like to have not changed. So we're only going to use speed for this. So we can keep our jump or we can just get rid of it. If you want to comment something out, you just put a hashtag in front of it or a number sign, depending on your millennium. Now this here, we don't need either, which is a handle jump. So we can either highlight that, delete it, or highlight it all and press Ctrl+K. Now I'll comment out those 3 lines for us. We're also going to ignore the get gravity for now. So we can comment that out or delete it. I'll just comment it out, highlight, Ctrl+K. Now let's take a look at the function physics process. Now that's your physics checkpoint here. Now it's a fixed rate. The function runs at a fixed rate of 60 times per second, so it ensures reliable physics calculations, and this is where all your movement and collision code is going to go. Now the delta part, that argument ensures movement is frame rate independent, which basically means the character moves at the same speed, whether the user has 30 FPS or 300. Now all the documentation is listed below. You can read it all for yourself if you want to dive in further. Now to focus on the horizontal movement, we commented out the gravity and the jump logic for now. You can delete it if you want a cleaner script, but we'll leave them there for an example and maybe use them later. So we have down here is the horizontal. We have this input.getAxis. Now that's going to tell the Godot when we're playing the game if we're pushing one of these getAxis buttons, which right now are the arrow keys, left and right. UI left and UI right is set up by default with arrow keys. Now that's going to be stored in this direction variable. Now this if-else block statement is going to check if a direction is being pressed, left or right, then it's going to move the character. This else velocity, if there's nothing being pushed, what that's going to do is stop the character. Now it's going to stop it slowly as a friction. So it's not like a sudden stop. So it's a nice little built-in default slow stop. Now for all this to be executed, we have this move and slide. Now it just takes the velocity, it's our X component, and handles the entire physics calculation and the collision response for us. Now you can find the documentation linked below for the move and slide if you want to dive deeper in. It's all right here for you. So now it's time to test. We have all this. You did notice maybe there's an error or a warning here. Really all it's telling us is that delta is never used. So if you really don't want to use it, then you just prefix it with this underscore. So when we do use it, we still can. It'll just will have an underscore. We could delete it later. But if you want to get rid of that, you can just put the underscore here in the delta and then save it. And then that goes away. You can leave it there too if the caution doesn't bug you. But if it does, that's how to get rid of it. So we're just going to run the player scene this time. So if we go back to our 2D tab, we have our player here. Now if we take our character body, we also need to make sure that move mode right here is highlighted. If it's not, then we won't be able to move our character body. We can just move your character body down. And since we're on the player scene and not our welcome scene, if you remember, this is our main game scene. So if you run it from this project, play project, you're not going to see anything. It's going to be blank because there is no player in our welcome scene. I mean, before we put our player in our welcome scene, we can play it from the player scene. Now how to do that, we do this little film reel, run current scene. So it doesn't run the whole project, just the scene you're on. That's what we're going to do. So you click here, run current scene, and we have our little dude. Now if you try to use the WASD keys, they don't work yet. They're not in there by default. But if you use your arrow keys, right and left, success. Now we have a moving player. Now Godot only maps the UI left and UI right actions to the arrow keys and gamepads too. You use your gamepad right now. But we're going to rely on the default actions for this video. So in the next video, we're going to go in the project settings and add the A and D. And then we can create our own custom action names. Give us our WASD movement. Now you've successfully cleared the basic movement checkpoint. Congrats. Nice job. Now if you found this helpful at all, you please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for Godot Dev Checkpoint, so you will get notified when we have new stuff out and this tutorial gets finished. So remember, finished, not perfect. You'll learn more from failing than any success, so fail fast, fail often, and always stay curious. See you in the next one.